Hello everyone, today they shared with us stories about incomprehensible hints of girls. I will not detain you, the main thing is to subscribe to the channel and enjoy watching. Story 1 from user Reneken. Not a girl, but I got a hint once that flew by me. Phew. So my former best friend and I, sadly, we do not talk to each other anymore. Thanks to an ex-girlfriend, we're very close. So close even that I fell in love with her, and she apparently was with me. So we met more often during the evening, sometimes late at night, watched movies, hung out. She got way more direct with me about being interested in me when she was dressing up for a party and hadn't bra on. Because she was just sitting at home, she suddenly started telling me that I would not need to leave the room when she was changing clothes. All of the sudden, she went all cuddly on the couch when we watched movies, and I was literally thinking I could make a move. But I am very happy with the friendship I got. We even went partying, and a dude started dancing with her when she, all of the sudden, said something to him, pointed at me, and the dude ran off. Probably said something about me being her boyfriend. But my train of thought was, she probably was not interested in that guy. The apex of my failure, however, was that one night we ordered some food, hung out, and we talked about the scenario that if a person insists on someone to sleep at their place, even though she knows the other person is not too far away from home, that is clearly a hint. Later that evening, I was about to go home. It was late at night, and I had to walk 25 minutes max. So it was not that far. She said, you can sleep here. We are all alone since she was living with her mother who stayed at her boyfriend's place most of the week. And I literally said, nah, I am good. It isn't that far. Anyways, those two conversations were apart, 510 minutes of bonus, on top of my cluelessness. For her 21st birthday, I gave her an iPhone in front of all people. She went to me, hugged me, said that there is only one thing to make this moment perfect, and looked me deep in the eyes. I did nothing seriously. If I would have had a time machine, I would have kicked myself into reacting right now, since it could have been the best relationship in my life. Lesson learned, if you do not act, you get shit on edit. Sorry for not answering since it was late at night here in Germany and I had to go to bed. But whew. Thanks for so many answers and encouraging words. Since there are so many answers telling me I should call her, I will try tomorrow. Since it is Father's Day, here 25th May, and we'll edit this again, after I call her to tell you how it went, for those asking how long we were not talking. October 2014, we saw each other while getting groceries, 3 times I think. And I ran into her while training for a half marathon, but I tried saying hi once. This was shortly after we had the falling out, and she did not say anything, which really threw me off so much that I did not try again. And as far as I know, she is single, as am I, edit 2. So I won't talk around the outcome too. Long since most of you were very excited how it went. Sadly, she changed her phone number over the last 2 years, which lead me to me going to her house, seeing if either she or her mother was there in a stroke of bad luck. She must have moved out recently. I knew she wanted to move out for quite a while to live on her own, while her mother moved in with her boyfriend, which means the chances are quite low in talking to her as of right now. But we shared a lot of the same friends from school and have had mostly the same social circle for years. From well-being best friends, I am hoping to see her at a party in about 3 weeks. If she is there, I will start a conversation and explain myself if there is an outcome. Either way, I will keep you updated. But for now, this is sadly it. I am, however, thankful for all the support you gave me, since I would have never taken that chance if all of you haven't been there. And I hope this entire thing will have a conclusion in a few weeks. Final edit. This will be my final edit. Since basically everything came to a close, as I said, I texted her on Facebook, she answered, and we decided to meet last night. And so we did. We talked everything through, everything from all the past drama, what mistakes we made, how we both made mistakes, and how I was a total idiot for not recognizing what she was hinting at. It was weird at first, talking so open about feelings you had years ago, but we got there. I even mentioned how you guys helped me take initiative, and it made her laugh that thousands of people pushed me to go talk to her at the end of the night. We really didn't know what to do with ourselves. Of course, we couldn't just go at it, or say we are in a relationship now. As I said, we haven't talked to each other for quite some time, and we have become slightly different people. But we were both okay to start by going on a date, catching up and getting to know each other better again, and see from where it goes from there. I want to thank all of you guys for supporting me and pushing me towards the right choice. And if everything works out, happiness in the end, I am more than baffled that from a single post about how I am an absolute idiot for not getting a hint, something like this can evolve, and that there are always two sides to everything. Especially the internet, where most of the time toxicity is the normality and the support and kindness I received is something more rare. Basically, thank you for helping me update. So many of you people wrote me PMS and wanted to know what happened and how things are going short. Answer: things are going great, we are a happy couple and just enjoy ourselves. It was awkward for our friends at first, but things basically became normal after a while. For my part, you guys motivated me to get something, or better put someone back, that I have gave up 2 years earlier. Seriously, you guys made my year one of the best years in my entire life for that. I thank you so much. I appreciate the 2 golds I got, which were my first 2 ever. So another thanks to those who gave it. Thank you. Story 2 from user Fantastically Foolish. Strap yourselves in. This is going to be a long one. I had this guy friend. I accidentally fell for a while back, a year into knowing each other. We hit that weird stage of flirtatious banter in our friendship that's usually reached when both parties are sort of attracted to each other, but nobody really has the guts to make the first move. After about half a year, it got to ridiculous heights, ironically calling each other sweetheart, darling, etc. Playful groping, just generally lots of casual touching at that point. Most of the regulars in the bar we frequented just kind of assumed we were dating already. But no, still neither of us dared to actually make the first move. At this point, it had just kind of become routine for me to come up with some kind of flimsy excuse like not wanting to walk all the way back home, and for him to invite me to spend the night at his place. If we happened to run into each other at the aforementioned bar, I figured he would catch on eventually, but still no attempts to take this strange not dating thing to the next level were made. I'd sit on his bed, changing into a pair of his boxers and a t-shirt of his. While he was in the same room, we'd cuddle up and go to sleep. Then spend the next morning still cuddled up, just talking about anything that came to mind. When even my most obvious attempts at provoking him into action either failed, we're talking about straight up straddling his lap and flirtatious banter, or were met with mild amusement. Not to mention that one time he thought it'd be appropriate to talk about a friend's ex-girlfriend whom he found really attractive, but couldn't make a move on. Because bro code, while he was literally spooned to my back, I accepted the fact that apparently I had missed the friend zone by a mile and went straight into the zone of sentient cuddle blanket, and that it was time to bury these pesky little feelings and move on with my life. This man obviously did not feel a single ounce of sexual attraction towards me. So another year passes, no more flirting, no more cuddling. Most importantly, no more sleepovers. And since he didn't seem to mind, I considered my assumptions. Confirmed, you can smell the not surprising at all plot twist from a mile away. Can't you cut to another evening in that faithful bar? Alcohol was consumed. Random incidents were brought up, jokes that bore a little too much truth were made. And somehow the two of us found ourselves in the midst of a conversation about times past. We were neither sober nor sensible enough to hold an ex-lover boy. That could have been, but never ys speaks the fateful words. Yeah, I used to be really attracted to you, but I just didn't think you were interested. Mind you, this was said to me by the man who had had me sitting on his lap while wearing his clothes in his bed as my bra lay abandoned on the floor. And that, dear fellow Redditors, is how I learned to never ever underestimate the power of male obliviousness. At least it makes for a mildly entertaining anecdote. I might go back and edit this tomorrow for better legibility. Story 3 from user The Redgrin Grumholt. This is a bit of the reverse, and I'm sharing. Because I want to make a point I don't see often for my birthday. A few days ago, I went on a trip to Europe on the first night. There I come across a few compatriots and go into the restaurant so I can get some food from my original home. 3 women beckon me to sit with them. I move my plate to their table and sit with them. I'm 230. They were like 45, 46, and 27. They insist on buying me drinks and stuff all night. Finally, the 2 older ones leave and I'm just stuck with the youngest one. We talk for a while and she insists on walking me home. I fail to convince her not to, and we end up taking a 3-minute taxi to my Airbnb. She then gets mad at me for not trying to convince her to come upstairs, all while she's talking about how honorable ladies don't do that kind of stuff and shit. I explicitly tell her that I'd never bring upstairs someone that needed convincing because of a lack of enthusiasm, and that furthermore, I had no intention of sleeping with her. She goes on a rant about how prideful I am, because obviously I'm lying about the latter. I'm not. She then goes upstairs with me to use the bathroom while I myself am peeing. She partially undresses and gets on the bed. She wants to sleep there for the night because of a medical reason. Fine, we end up sleeping together. Literally. Sleep nothing else the next morning. I wake up bright and early to continue my travels since I have an event to go to in another city in a few hours. She tries to convince me to stay and spend the day-night with her. I don't want to. She tells me she just has to shower and then we can have sex. Then and there I still don't want to. She calls me a coward and is really hurt because I wouldn't sleep with her. I point out that I had explicitly told her I had no intention of sleeping with her. Doesn't matter, keep in mind that at no point in time the night before had I in any way, shape, or form chased her hell. They invited me to their table. I then get into a debate with her and have to give like 20 different reasons why I wouldn't do it. Because me not wanting to isn't enough. I try to explain that this had nothing to do with her, but she's decided that it does. I drop her off at her house and she remains unsatisfied and upset with me. The point of the story is that I shouldn't have to explain why I didn't want to sleep with her. I had many valid reasons. My romantic life is a shit show. I had somewhere to be. I was tired. I didn't have a condom and don't trust others to supply them. I was in an Airbnb with the host, sleeping in the next room. She looked just like my last ex. I'm afraid of stees and pregnancy, etc. But that didn't seem to matter because there's this up notion that guys are sex crazed, and if one of them doesn't want to sleep with you, it's because there's something wrong with you, but that's simply not true. And in fact pressures people to do things they don't want to. Now I don't give a shit if someone calls me a coward, this being in a hypermasculine culture where that's a grave insult. But I can see someone else relenting at that point, or because they thought that's what was expected of them on a somewhat related note. If you're only set on giving hints, I will go out of my way to play dumb, because someone who wants to be an enthusiastic, fully consenting participant has to be upfront and explicit about that TLDR. My body, my choice applies to guys too, and I'm not your Latin lover. Story 4 from user deleted. What about a guy that doesn't pick up on his own hints? Met a guy through mutual friends while in college visiting their university. A couple of towns over. We hit it off pretty quickly, exchanged numbers and talked pretty regularly. Eventually, he said something along the lines of, "I really like talking to you and think you're really great, but I think we should just be friends. I'm not really looking for a relationship right now." I said that was fine. Internal sigh, and that I definitely understood, and pretty much resigned myself to never hearing from him again, except I did. He continued to text me regularly, and never lost his humor or flirtatious attitude, and not joking. 4 days after, asked if I wanted to come up to his college town the next weekend to go to a music festival. Low-key, nothing crazy with him. I was super confused, but I started to figure maybe this guy is just super serious about having friends and I'm a masochist. So obviously I wasn't going to say no. It sounded like other people I knew would be there anyway. 3 days before I was to visit, still texting me consistently and initiating all conversations. I should add, he says, "Oh, by the way, there's this really great pizza place here that I want to show you. You'll love it best." Pizza I've ever had, adding to the confusion. I said that sounded great, and wondered to myself if everyone else going was interested in getting pizza too. 2 days before I was to visit. "Oh, also there's this really cool milkshake place we have to go to." Okay, so everyone is okay with milkshakes too. The day before my visit. "Oh, by the way, this thing ends at like 9. Do you maybe want to go to a movie afterwards?" I mean, sure, at this point I'm under the impression other people are not at all involved in the decision-making process. I relayed the information to my 2 best friends, one of whom I was actually going to be staying with that weekend, since the town was too far over to make a late-night drive by myself. "A good idea," he straight up said. "Look, still come and hang with me and our other friends. But this guy sounds like an absolute dick. I think he's just playing you, please do not keep talking to him." My other best friend goes, "Wait, I don't know. Honestly, I think he might just be kind of stupid." She wasn't wrong, I met up with him. We had a fantastic time together. Watched a movie in his apartment, and he made 0 moves. But he did ask me to go out with him 2 months later, and was shocked to learn he had already taken me on a date. It's been 4 years now, and we're happily married. But he still scratches his head over the event. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and write comments. See you later.